Every city you burn, I'm gonna build one high.
Greetings, fellow Empyreans. I am Ashtarothi, and I am highly distracted from chat right now. It is April. What is it? April. Hold on. January, February, March, April, May 9th. YC125, and this is the Eve Universe Show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Wow, you guys. What is the hidden monument? I don't know yet. It's YC125. It's even in the title of the video. All right, guys. So, at first, I was like, okay, you know what? I just want to, like, hop in my ship and run around and run sites and chat because, you know, we should just catch up for a little while. Talk about whatever we want. And then, as we started to get closer, I realized that, like, the last stream I did got cut off short, and then my Friday, my son had off school, and then of course the weekend I got 2 videos out, but like a lot has happened, so let's try to piece things together as we go. No, I really don't know where the hidden I don't know what the hidden monument is. If I did, it would not be hidden, right? Oh my gosh, Kitty. Kitty, what's up, Kitty? Yeah? Yeah? Hi. She doesn't like to get picked up. I wonder if she'll let me. Nope. That's a good way to get rid of her, though. Okay. Is this like the 3rd rebroadcast of this? No? What do you mean? What? Hey, Chubbyman69, thank you for that membership. Today we are staggering out the gate. Well, the popular theory is that it's Mithra's Gate, right? But the thing is that it kind of has to be something that's in the skybox. So I wonder if people that have seen it even notice or realize that it's the hidden monument at this point. Does Kitty also have the same diet as the guinea pig? Tragically, we discovered it is contagious. But, you know, with your guys' support, we can all live happy, healthy lives with your likes, comments, and subscribes, and those we can get through this together. No, actually, I ran to the pet store today to get litter for all. Yeah, an expansion. That's one of the things we need to talk about today. So before we get anywhere, let's go ahead and just knock out today's patch notes. Actually, hold on. So theories on the expansion? Oh yeah, I've got some. I've got thoughts on the expansion. So what we have today is, over the weekend, we had a better tax rate to celebrate the 20th anniversary. I would have talked about it on Friday, but I didn't. So it's back. Yay. The big thing today is that the Minmatar have crossed over 50% threshold, which means that they too can now spawn sites. And with the Amar crossing over 50% today, chances are the Amarr will also begin to start spawning relay tech sites. This is going to be really important because this is going to speed up this final phase. With these two spawning it not only does that make it more places to spawn, but as we know, it's significantly easier to spawn in Minmatar and Amarr space than it is in the Caldari space. Well, yeah, I mean, that's basically what it says in the blog too, but we'll get there. So the big thing is that the Gallente is now catching up, and we have now also hit 100%. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. As of right now, I think that like Minmatar is like a grand total of actually, ironically, about 51, 52% of the way all the way through. Amar's at like 59% all the way through, and Gallente is sitting at like 43% all the way through. Or 46, I don't know. But, you know, so it's kind of all coalescing. What's interesting is that the Caldari construction side was so fast, I think it kind of caught CCP off guard. So they've actually had to shut off the mining beacons in Pochfin. And so in the same way that it wasn't really accounting for that, and so now they've had to like shut it off again, and they weren't even sure if they were going to at first, from what I imagine or heard. Like the idea that one side would finish before the other side, any of the others got even 50%, I don't think that that was foreseen either. So what that meant was throughout most of the weekend, you just couldn't do Shadow War except for going to Caldari space and doing transmuters. No, because... Wait, hold on. What was I trying to say? Yeah. So everyone only could go to Caldari space because the Gallente was spawning Stellar. The Minmatar and the Amarr were both spawning only Stellar. So everyone was only spawning Stellar except for the Caldari, and no one needed Stellar for anything anymore. No, you could still do the Caldari sites, because you could still get relay for the other three, which of course made those even more competitive. Hey, thanks, Sam. But now we've gotten to the point where they are starting to spawn again. So we'll have to watch closely as we kind of... It looks like all three groups are probably going to enter into phase 3 at about the same, or phase 2 at about the same time. And it's interesting because like I haven't talked to anybody, the person who did the major work for the construction. So I can't actually tell you how much effort they expended in that amount of time. However, given the fact that they needed the new material and the new blueprints, and they were constrained, i.e. like you couldn't have them previously and you had to get them from Triglav space, I mean, it can't be anywhere close to the level of progress that's required to get the research done. I'm not sure if I'm too happy about that. I really would have liked it if they would have maybe shortened the research phase a little bit, so that way we could get into the the Triglavian side faster. But I feel like the Triglavian side may go by too fast, and I think that they may have like expected it to be harder to pull stuff out than it ended up being. But we'll have to. The problem is that all of this is speculation until the other three groups make it to that phase, and then we'll see how they fare. So, yep, that's fun. So now the Amarr Gallente Federation are now rewarding personal progress points for those who complete Minmatar hacking courier and laboratory sites. So you can now get him, you know, that's the same as the site spawning, the new stuff. And Caldari, congratulations. Your skins are no longer available. You can no longer gain personal points. You can no longer grow your Caldari PP. It's done. No more PP for you. Then reduce the effects cloud on the visibility SOCT sites. Now, I'm actually kind of tolerant of these kinds of things because, like, worst case scenario, you can just use the UI or whatever. But these, it was quite odd how bright the clouds were, given the fact that they didn't feel like they added anything to the site. It was just like, and this site is unnaturally bright for some reason. And it frustrates, but, you know, there's a lot of people that are less tolerant than me on that kind of thing. And so, you know, there's been a lot of consternation on that topic, but CCP has fixed it, at least some. I haven't actually been to them one yet, so I can't verify. Somebody in chat can verify. Is it actually better? Does it look good? Oh, yeah, that was the other thing. Yeah, no, yeah. Never mind. You can no longer gain points. That was what I was trying. That was the other thing. As a Caldari squid, it's more like a relief to have it done. I want faction warfare combat event. Let's wager something nice and fight over it, please. Yeah. Although I think that the point is that, like, faction warfare is supposed to be one track, and then these other things are supposed to be other tracks that kind of run in parallel in different ways, right? And they're experimenting with what that can mean. Like, you know, the first one, ownership of the war zone mattered. In this one, ownership of the war zone shaped the nature of the event. But I also think that the high-sec sites kind of compromised that. It's going to be interesting to see as this all grows and matures. But we also now have, like, the Capsuleer Day event in full swing. So okay. It is no longer okay. So the other thing is that these shipcaster beacons. Now, I'm willing to let somebody come or, like, convince me otherwise, but from everything I've seen, I think that these are pretty cool. All right. Now, the Caldari are way upset. Now, with all that on the table, let's talk about what a shipcaster actually ended up being. Not this. This is the Stellar Transmuter. The Stellar Transmuter is in the system of Elonia. It's actually a couple of jumps from the Stellar Shipcaster. So we're going to talk about it while we head on there. The Shipcaster is in Onamon. The Transmuter is not overly important right now, other than aesthetics. It exists. It is theoretically powering the Shipcaster. It's worth noting, actually, since we're here, if we want to be conspiratorial, there is no. You can see all three balls are operating. The Amar one didn't have balls in the back, which I find interesting that this one does. However, also, what's interesting is that as of now, there is no status effect. It's a large collidable object, I think. Yeah. The State Stellar Transmuter is the result of a highly successful technology acquisition and research program carried out by the Caldari State with the assistance of Capsuleers. Although the Caldari lacked the access to Triglavian stellar technology available to the Amar Empire and Minmatar Republic through a mix of statecraft, espionage, and market forces, the state was able to rapidly acquire the necessary technology and data to complete its own research efforts. Following the Maybe I shouldn't read very much today. Following the successful campaign to acquire this technology, and with the state's understanding of Triglavian transport relay technology also assured, the Caldari embarked on an effort to construct the necessary infrastructure for interstellar shipcaster. The first mature state stellar transmuter was deployed in the Elonia system as a key element of the power and critical resource base required for operating a state interstellar shipcaster network. Unique New York. Unique New York. All right. Does the sun actually looks similar to early stages of the transmuter's effect during Pochvin, which also means that, like, I'm noting that there is no effect right now, but we don't. This system could and probably will very well change. This star is not done being transmuted. It took over a week to fully transport or transform a star in and there is actually a pulse. There's a pulse to the star here, but I mean it's already an AO. I mean it's a highly energetic star. So my point is this is going to be something to watch. Now let's head over to the shipcaster. The shipcaster, well, when we were talking about it last, we were talking about it hypothetically, and my guess was that it was going to be something that you could use to transport to the front line, or I thought to a battlefield. And there were people that suggested any front line, you know, and there was questions about whether or not you'd be able to choose, or whether or not it would be just a thing that gets directed, blah, blah, blah. We now know the answer. So if I open up the faction warfare window, we have a new thing on the side. We need to switch over to the Caldari and Gallente. Hold on. And if we see off on the side here, we can now see Interstellar Shipcaster. And we can see that the Caldari state is right now linked to Pinacasto and Oinasaiken. And you can even see on the map, look, there's two shipcasters there and there, all right? And then in addition to that, there is the option of Devon and Renorel. Right? Yeah, right here. So it's worth noting that all of these are front lines, but not all of them are Caldari front lines. On Oinasaiken is a Gallente system, or held by the Gallente. Where is it originally? It's in Blackrise. Yeah, Blackrise is Caldari. So this was an originally Caldari system occupied by the Gallente, I believe. So that might be worth noting. But they're all front lines, and the Renorel one is front lines. Devon is front lines. Advantage seems to be pretty important. That's an interesting point. Okay, so basically a system that has a high enough advantage threshold may be the trigger. But either way, there are beacons that are there, and then they have to bring a certain amount of stuff with them in order to build the actual shipcaster. So let's look at what the shipcaster looks like. Now, I had a problem, okay? Which is that, like, I warped all over this place. I went to the star. I went to different stations. Couldn't find the shipcaster. Didn't even occur to me that, hey, whenever CCP adds a new thing to the overview, you got to add it to the overview. Didn't think about it being a separate thing. It is. So you have to open up your overview settings, whichever one you want to be the where it shows up of your overview tabs. And then you go... is it a Celestial? Interstellar Shipcaster, Interstellar Shipcaster Beacon, Interstellar Beacon, Shipcaster Beacon Constructor, and yeah, there it is. State Interstellar Shipcaster. Let's go ahead and head there now. Now, one of the things I did notice, though, is that if you look around in space, this is actually pretty cool. Oh, you can't do it while you're in warp. Never mind. So high advantage front lines are the most frequent pick for the AI. Okay, so the AI picks where they put the beacons, and then people put the beacons there? Or the people have to build it up. So, oh, okay, I was able to see this. I was able to see the dot from a distance, even though I couldn't see the shipcaster. That's what I ended up, what I was seeing over and over again. Okay, this makes more sense. So here it is, the Interstellar Shipcaster. In all of its Caldari version of glory. We'll probably look at it closer at some point. but I don't want to like just sit here and be like, ooh, for a whole bunch of time on stream. But it is pretty cool. And as you can see, if I was in the Caldari, I would be able to currently jump to Oina Syken. Now, oh no, sorry, I can't jump to either right now. But in a minute and a half, I'll be able to jump to Pinacasto, and that will last for 1 minute, and then for a minute, I can jump to Oina Syken. I can't, as we mentioned, but this person who is in the Caldari militia absolutely can. So in 1 minute, we're going to see this jackdaw. Well, hopefully we're going to see. Oh. Hey, look at that. So it looks like that means that the other one, Oin, is still charging, but the one that was about to fire, which now I can't even think, Pinacasto, just was destroyed as we were waiting. The other thing I do like about it is that it gives solar system data. Yeah. This is actually a really decent way. Oh, it wasn't. It moved it to the top. Oh. 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 Okay. Okay. So as it gets closer, it moves up to the top. We see the information about it. It's connecting. In 9 seconds, this jackdaw should be able to go to... There it goes. And it's live. There goes the Corax. No? Jackdaw doesn't want to go this time? All right. Well, this thing's going to be active for another 35 seconds, and then it shuts down. Yeah, it's a 6 second a 6 minute cycle shared by all 3 beacons. So if you have all 3 beacons active, which you can only have 3 up at a time, then basically it's on half the time and off half the time. Pine is not known for its Starbucks and nice neighborhoods. That's true. So in 9 seconds, this will turn off, and then 1 minute later, the Oin one will turn on. And soon, ads will apparently run for people. While we wait, I'd like to remind everybody to like the stream. So, I think this is pretty cool. I think that a lot of the hate that's out there about this thing, I don't know. I feel like this is a new tool, and while it is a relatively not simple, it feels very low impact, right? Faction warfare. It's constrained to faction warfare. It's constrained to very specific systems. There's a lot of rules that govern it. But as far as like a sandbox goes, this is actually a really interesting, new, neat little tool that not only can lead to new strategies, but lead to emergent gameplay. Like, here we go. There's Oin. What's the lore for the Empire having this Triglavian technology? The lore is that the Amar captured the stellar transmuter in Arshat and then reverse engineered that technology and then experimented on it. Actually, you know what? Let's just go ahead. Is it here? No. Oh, well. So then they built 3 different experimental ones. One of them blew up. The other 2 were successfully shut down. At the same time, the Caldari discovered a Triglavian... everybody discovered that Edencom was effectively spying on a Triglavian arcology that was doing some sort of strange stellar relay research, we found out eventually. And so from there, the Caldari seized the territory, the area, and then gathered up a whole bunch of information from all the Triglavian sites that spawned around it, and then from that build their relay information. So then when the Shadow Wars started, everybody started stealing from everybody. The Caldari forces started taking stuff from the Amar and Mimitar sites and turning it over to the Caldari, allowing the Amar and Mimitar, or allowing the Caldari to master the technology that the Amar and Mimitar already had. Yes, it was successfully shut down when the Mimitar seized them. This Mimitar successfully shut down 2 of the transmitters. So I'm already in low-sec faction warfare. Why would I move to high-sec without considering the new groups of players that aren't going straight to low-sec? Yeah, I mean, that's true. It does. So what's interesting is it does cater to a different group of faction warfare players, but that's how you expand the pool of faction warfare players. The thing is this. You can pretty much predict, or you can pick where it goes, right? The chances that you're able to put up a beacon in the system with a battlefield is quite high. So my prediction that it will just point to the battlefield is true. However, it does take a little bit of work and some ISK from the player. But let's think about that work in ISK, okay? Somebody can correct me. I haven't... Like, hold on, let's look at the... Is there a phrase? Is there a thing for it? No, we just turn it in, don't we? There's a dev blog about it. There's a dev blog about it. I even have it ready. Or do I? I do not. All right, now I do. Okay. So basically, those sites, those places that I mentioned earlier, like Devon and Reneral, currently have these structures or these places where you can bring 300 smart fab units, 10 harmonizing power cores, 200 quantum microprocessors, and 8,000 microtransistors. Will Eve Praisal work for me on this one? Why is it not doing it? Oh, wait, hold on. Nope. That's weird. Okay, well. Unfortunately, that doesn't work. All right, well, if somebody has the numbers, you can give them to me of about how... I heard that this is about 80 million. And I don't know what its M3 is. Does anybody know what the total M3 is? But my point is, like, it gives 55,000 LP, which, dang it, now that I think about it, I should have been more ready. If we go to Fuzzworks LP store, let's see how much that LP could be worth. So we're just going to go to State Protectorate. Yes to blueprints. Sell prices. It's 5,000 M3 exactly. So we're talking about like a blockade runner. It's not something like a Kiki can drop off, but you know, covert ops, hauler, or whatever, which is dangerous in the front lines. There's definitely a need for defense. And some people have complained about the fact that they're squishy or whatever, but an hour reinforcement time, a guaranteed hour-long Sino for 55 million ISK, I think that that's pretty strong, okay? That's incredible. All right. So the Phoenix Navy issue blueprint. If you build the Phoenix Navy issue off of the blueprint, it is worth 3,800 ISK per LP. The Phoenix Navy issue is bar none the winner of the Faction Dreadnought update. It is insanely good. It is incredibly popular, and it's popular among the people that have lots of things and lots of money. So we've already seen quite a few forces join the Caldari with the express purposes of just getting LP, because of the fact that, yeah, it's the crab dread, where the top moneymaker right now is crab beacons, basically. So let's just do the math really quick. If we pull up our space calculator, and we go 3836 times 50,000, we get wait, what did I just do that for? Yeah, you get 100 and wait, hold on, is that right? Jesus, you get 191 million ISK worth of LP if you turn them into Phoenix Navy issues at that value. So they're making money by just putting these things up as well, theoretically. Yep. Now, obviously, that's an insane amount of LP. Let's look at a more reasonable amount of LP. We got 50,000 times like 2,000. That's usually a good amount of LP. Hey, look, that's already 100 million. So that's more than paying for the materials. So I think that basically the beacons pay for themselves. So whatever. It's mostly the logistics of getting it out there, which is just another way. Now there are combat haulers. Now the ability to covert ops bring something into dangerous territory under hostile action is a valuable skill to the militias. And that is actually kind of cool. The beacons provide, yeah, exactly. They can just camp these things, right? Too? T2 dreads will most certainly make the LP come down. Ah, yeah, that's true. Make hay while make hay when the sun shines. I think that's it. This one in heart of snuff territory. The whole war zone is mostly snuff territory. Excuse me. Do you have to be... well, actually, I guess I assume that you have to be in the militia to put in the beacon. Do you have to be in the militia to attack the beacon? And do people get anything for destroying it? I assume not. I like the UI. But, like, there's going to be a playstyle where people store heavy equipment in the headquarters and then use this to just deploy it to front lines and other things, right? And then just stash them there or bring it back somehow. This is an incredible way for people to be in HiSec with everything that HiSec is, but then be directly into the action. It also introduces some really interesting ways to get in and out of HiSec, or to get into HiSec, or sorry, into LowSec, which is actually notoriously very dangerous. Like, one of the most dangerous things to do in low sec is to go to low sec. Once you're in low sec, you're actually kind of fine. It's the act of transitioning into low sec that's dangerous. So, these can be camped too, but so can all of the Stargates. Yeah, Snuff destroyed a whole bunch within a few hours of them being live on TQ. But also, like, this happens every time something new happens. It's like, oh my god, everybody's having, like, just destroying them all. Well, yeah, it's the new thing. People like to build the new thing. People like to break the new thing. And then eventually, it won't be the new thing anymore. And then we'll, like, settle into, like, an actual, okay, what is this going to look like kind of world. Anyone can build them. So a non-faction warfare player can earn faction warfare LLP without being in the militia. Are there any ship restrictions to use the shipcaster? Can you take haulers in it? I assume that there, I mean, it's a Stargate, right? Like, yeah. By the way, if you're watching this as a historical record, you can turn on the chat thing. I realized actually right before I was going live that in this present... Wait, no, the chat's right there. Never mind. I'm stupid. Sub cap and rank only? I don't know what rank means. But, well, obviously it's not capitals. Like, well, can a freighter go through it? Yeah, anything that can get to high sec can use the shipcaster. That's a better one. Oh yeah, you got to be in the militia. You have to be in the militia. What about jump freighter? Well, yeah. I mean, I think the simpler answer is it has no restrictions. Therefore, if you can fly to it, you can use it. It's in high sec. Everything else, do the math. Although using this as to transport your jump freighter is hilarious, and you should die for it. Just so you know, like, you might not. It might be part of a crazier plan, but just know it is a bad idea, and you should die for it by all rights. Okay. We already talked about the T2 dreads a little bit last time. Actually, we did. Oh, never mind. We did talk about a lot of that stuff. We had Vermilion. Vermilion was the thing that we were talking about when everything got shut down last time, or like, right? We did get an opportunity to talk about Vermilion. Time is an illusion. Lunchtime doubly so. Okay, we'll back up. Yeah. Well, I mean, we knew that there was T2, and the expansion were dreads, or in the picture there were dreads. I postulated that there could have been non-dreads also, but that, I believe we've pretty much gotten it confirmed that this expansion is going to be just T2 dreads as far as T2 capitals go. Yeah, then I opened the store and it crashed. By the way, that was a fun bug. At any rate, let's see. But we did get information from CCP during the 20th anniversary stream. They confirmed that it would be T2 dreads, and they said it in such a way that I'm just going to interpret it as only T2 dreads. So that makes it simple. I wonder what it could possibly be if not if not like a Black Ops Dread concept in some way, a fast strike or something like that. Because like, what else would be a specialized Dread? But I guess we'll find out, right? That said, maybe it'll be new. Maybe there'll be a new mechanic. As I've said, though, I think that what we really have here, based on what they've said, you know, with all of the new tools for projects and stuff, the whole point of this is to add something of an of higher complexity, because I think that the tools that they're going to be bringing in is designed to do things like coordinate T2 production, right? So this is the very thing that we're going to be. Oh yeah, the Marauder lights. Oh my God. Oh, you know what? All of the Marauders have a pretty sick skin to use for those things too. I cannot wait. E-War Dreads? Well, because E-War is usually, you think of it as like a carrier thing, right? Because super carriers do it. I feel like Logi for carriers, which then become faxes. They should just make faxes the T2 carrier. That'd be funny. And then E-War for super carriers. I don't know. We'll see. Dreads that have an alternative jump drive. Oh, what if it's a dread? Wait a minute. Nope, I got it. A dread that can bring subcapitals along with it. Right? A conduit jumping dread. That's got to be it, right? I'm going with that. That's what I'm going with for now. Well, I already said a Blops Dread, but what if it didn't just do Blops? What if part of this is to rein in the capital thing, or the oppression of Titans, and allow these things to function as jump bridges for subcapitals? I can only bring Marauders with it. I don't know, man. That sounds really awesome, because that sounds like it can bring its own support fleet. Oh my God. Any rate, we'll see. We'll have to see. We'll learn soon enough. I've actually long since believed that, well, like, somebody sold me on the idea that Marauders should cause an AoE, an AoE anti-Sino beacon, a Sino jammer, whenever they're in Bastion. Because that's the kind of thing that's like both good, you know, like has considerations as both an offensive and a defensive way. But just like, you literally just can't Sino around a Bastion Marauder. The T2 Dread can spawn a fighting area that no one can enter. That, people would lose their goddamn mind. Yeah, what if it's a Dread that can shut off Stargates? I don't even know what those words mean as a sentence, but what if? No, get in the arena, Dread. I do think that there should be deployable arenas where you can like set the rules for it and like manage bets. Right, it would go against you too if you can't Sino. Exactly, you'd never be able to Sino to save your Marauder. It would have some very interesting implications. The other thing about it is that it really helps like make that like you're an island, but it also makes it so that it introduces the idea of a Sino jammer that is somewhat easy to deploy. All I want is a T2 Drekavek command ship that boosts skirmish and information like the Draugr does. It's really simple. It's not that complicated. Make it happen. A dread that summons the ghosts of dead ships. Like you summon it, and it like just respawns a bunch of dreads, other ships. That sounds terrible. I don't even know what that means. That sounds like a super carrier, kind of. What about a dread that sends all of your dead ships into reimbursement? I mean, no, we're just being silly. I'm kind of curious of the production requirements because it's supposed to be better, but has a high build cost. I'm wondering if it'll be worthwhile. I guess Sissy will let us play around with that. Yeah, well, I think that's the difficulty of it. Building one is difficult to evaluate right now because we do not know what additional tools we'll be receiving in Viridian to help us manage those projects, right? Here's an interesting thing, and I kind of talked about this last time, I think, but this could, in theory, actually affect the market. There's a lot, like, the Convocation of Empyreans have several websites used just to keep track of all of our crap moving around. You know, there are tools out there that are just to help try to manage T2 industry. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of money involved. And often you want to do it at scale, but it's more complex than an individual. So the question is, how do you coordinate this stuff? And that complexity, that additional requirement for coordination tools that the game does not give you, increases the cost of production. So if they give us good tools that allows more industrial corps to crop up, build together goals, and begin producing at a higher level, we will see an increased demand for raw materials and an increased supply of finished product. And I think that that is going to be the X factor in Viridian. What faction makes the T2 Drek, though? I know, Satonia. Let's go with Angel Cartel. T2 Zenitra that actually tracks. The Zenitra can never track. That's the joke. I think that actually, Satonia, it could be cool if there were 3 new Triglavian ships released, like a Triglavian E-War or a Triglavian Interceptor, or something like that, and have it be produced by Svarog, Velez, and Perun. So then there's 1 T2 for each Empire faction, and then 1 T2 as the Triglavians adopt, or adapt the idea of like developing technology through T2. Don't forget the Edencom T2 ship line. Shouldn't they worry about the Triglavian, or sorry, the Edencom T1 ship line first? No, I still want an Edencom ship that does chain heal. A Trig Interceptor sounds kind of 6. Yeah. It'd be interesting, though. Now I'm trying to think about, like... I don't know. Yeah, chain heal. Like, it's a smaller rep. Like, let's say it's a rep that's like 75% the strength of a normal rep. or maybe even 50% of the rep of a normal rep, but also reps the five close individuals. T3 trig ships. Actually, my favorite suggestion was by Fonsui, who really liked the idea of T3 subsystems. So rather than make a Triglavian T3 ship, there should be a Legion that uses the disintegrator, the Tengu that uses the disintegrator, etc. Some joint projects between old empires that were shattered might work, like Amar Mimitar worked together on T2 Drek and Mimitar Caldari do T2 Leshak or something. I like the pirate factions too, right? Like you could get another 4 out of them. I mean, the Deathless. How about them Deathless ships and or factions? Also, wasn't there supposed to be twists in this event? I'm confused at this point. There's a lot of questions, but that's a whole nother topic. Let's see. Anything else we got to talk about? Or anything else in this? No? 20th anniversary deals. This is what we were starting to look at. This is what we were looking at. And I'm not going to look at it again. The twist is that the Caldari one. Is it though? Is that the twist? As they won though, there is a new scope video. So we can do a scope video reaction. Hey! Let's do an ad first. Does anyone notice that the Deathless character looks a lot like CCP Helmar? Yeah. It has been noted a few times. Also, with this event, we have the Genelutions dropping, albeit rarely, and other implants dropping, albeit rarely. But we don't see, what I haven't gotten reports of, are geckos or those blueprints or those kinds of things. I'm trying to think if there's any special modules or anything that drops during the Valentine's Day. Like the Gecko and the C3X and the C3A, the Hava damage control or ballistic control unit. We don't have those either. So that means that these are unavailable this year. Probably. Wait, I got it. T2 Dreads will shoot Plex as ammo and we'll get BPs to make Plex. Yeah. The twist is that Poidot is the only named system in Syndicate. You know, Satonia, be careful. Bringing up Syndicate and Poidot as a meme, people are going to tinfoil on that. I'm going to hear about that for the next day at least, just so you know. People are going to be like, oh, they brought up Syndicate again. I bet it's because the next thing's going to be the Kaldarian or the thing happening in Syndicate. And then Watcher is. Also, there was supposed to be an election. Let's look at the New Eden news. I mean, the scope.
Steadfast Caldari State Capsuleers have successfully achieved a monumental and historic feat by being the first to bring an interstellar shipcaster online. Located in the Ottoman system, this cutting-edge transport system grants a significant advantage to Caldari forces for rapid deployment of their fleets to the front lines of the militia conflict. This breakthrough, infusing Triglavian and Caldari technology, offers unprecedented speed and efficiency of fleet mobilization. Caldari forces operating out of the Anamon HQ will be able to respond swiftly and decisively to emerging threats, while spearheading offensives into enemy territory. Caldari Navy Executive General Heike Torigo expressed her heartfelt congratulations to the Caldari Capsuleers, hailing their achievement as a shining example of the indomitable spirit of the Caldari Way. Executive General Torigo has urged Capsuleers to leverage this hard-earned advantage by taking an active role in constructing and safeguarding shipcaster beacons in target systems. By doing so, the Caldari forces can further bolster their strategic position and secure their dominance in the Caldari Gallente militia war zone. After assembling the necessary resources to construct both the State Stellar Shipcaster in Anamon and the crucial State Stellar Transmuter in the Elange system, the Caldari bring their race to acquire this technology in the so-called Shadow War to a triumphant close. However, as the Caldari celebrate the hard-won fruits of their labor, the remaining three empires continue their pursuit of shipcaster technology, and will no doubt continue to covertly target Caldari research installations. This is Alton Haveri, reporting for the Scope.
Okay. Is my volume good? Oh no. Where is the universe? There it is. Is my volume still good? Because I accidentally messed up my volume. Alright. The twist is that the Eve Gate is reopening. Their dominance is pre-secured. They're pistol whipping Gallente in the dark. Okay. I'm not even sure what that means. So this is the script. Wait, no, let's read these. Anamon Black Rise. The Caldari State has completed the construction of a working interstellar shipcaster in the Anamon system following the high-intensity campaign by Caldari loyalist Capsuleers and their acquisition of the necessary Triglavian data and construct advanced infrastructure combining Caldari research into a newly developed transport technology. The Caldari State's completion of the State Interstellar Shipcaster project in Anamon system places a valuable strategic asset in the Militia Warzone HQ system of the state military. The Interstellar Shipcaster is capable of projecting forces up to 3 destination beacons located in the Caldari Gallente Militia Warzone, with Caldari Navy Command designating locations for construction according to strategic priorities. So the Caldari Navy Command is the one that is the AI. That's cool. The achievement is a major victory for the Caldari State Protectorate Militia Capsuleers. The efforts of Caldari loyalist Capsuleers were critical to the program to acquire Triglavian stellar technology by any means necessary. That's our line! And combine it with the state's grasp of Triglavian transport relay technology to produce the Interstellar Shipcaster. The Caldari State led in acquiring Triglavian technologies and developing them into a strategic network of installations. Can be traced back to the Surthud campaign, in which the state successfully maintained control of the Othanun system. The state's access to Triglavian transport relay facilities hidden in the Othanun and Surthud constellation gave them a key head start. This control, and the construction of the new Stargate connection between Othanun and Caldari Industrial System of Seminuni, was due to the dedicated efforts of the Caldari State Capsuleers. Caldari Navy Executive General Heike Torigo expressed her congratulations to the Caldari Militia Capsuleers, hailing their achievement as, quote, a shining example of the indomitable spirit of the Caldari Way, end quote. General Torigo was joined with in this by Chairman Saraki with the Caldari Chief Executive Panel. Chairman Saraki declared, quote, no other people can match the resolute determination and unwavering dedication of the Caldari. Today we have seen this demonstration in full by our State Protectorate Capsuleers and many other loyal citizens to the state. And you know what? Congratulations to them. It was a profound and pretty incredible feat and task for them to do. And they completed it before CCP anticipated, for sure. There is something I wanted to mention in here. Oh yeah, the idea of the AI. I think that one of the things that I find actually really interesting about the Shipcaster is that means that this is the first step in subtly introducing the idea of a controlling AI to the efforts of the faction warfare groups, right? Like, we could theoretically divine our orders from on high by seeing where the beacons spawn. And perhaps this is the only the beginning of this interaction between our command and our actions. And that has me super excited. I'm not muted. I'm actually doing pretty good today. Leave me alone. Shipcaster Network brings Stellar Transmuter fully online in Elonia system. Rogue Drone Shipcaster when? They don't even need the Shipcasters, obviously. The completion of the state interstellar shipcaster and deployment of the network of beacon constructors across the Caldari Gallente warzone has also brought online a new Caldari stellar transmuter in orbit of the Elange system central blue AO star. Caldari authorities have been quick to emphasize the state stellar transmuter is a mature technology, and that the state scientists and engineers have clear understanding of the operating limits of the new stellar transmuter's installation in Elonia. So this is actually one of the things I've thought about, which is that I think that the reason why you go for AO blue stars is because they're the least energetic of the three blue, and so it's kind of like the most controllable. So this is a very low powered mode version, supposedly. Despite these assurances, some among the population of Elonia have expressed misgivings at the sight of the stellar transmuter interacting with the system star. A relatively small system clustered around the small blue sun, Elonia's innermost barren planets are largely the domain of automated mining and smelting operations, together with experimental stations and heavily protected underground barracks. Most workers rotate from the most heavily populated planet, the temperate world of Elonia 8. Orbiting 2.33 AU from the central star, Elonia is considered the ideal colonial world, with a wide band of easily inhabited and exploitable terrain on its surface of continents and oceans. The large arcologies of Elonia 8 are by far the greatest centers of population in the system and are the permanent home of most workers on the industrialized inner barren and lava planets and the orbitals of the outer gas planets. I wonder if we're going to see this planet on world news soon, like we did with Intaki and some other places. A certain amount of public protest and disruption has been reported in some of the arcologies, with the megacorporation administrators attributing this to malcontents and anarchists. The majority of space industrial interests are focused on the orbital system of Elonia 10, with its mineral-rich moons and convenient access to chemical products of the outer gas planets. Megacorporations such as CBD and Lidai are known to have little tolerance for dissent, making it all the more notable that protests have taken place. In addition, citizen workers represent councils authorized by the megacorps with presence on Elonia 8, such as Kalakiota and Sukavesta, have reportedly featured persistent questions to executive administrators as to the stellar transmuter's impact on the system. Yeah, so, you know, there was a lot of protests before Akimakasaraki came in, and then, like, a lot of this protests quelled down. I find it interesting that these are being so suppressed, and yet they're still flaring up. Obviously, nobody wants their star system to have a giant transmuter in it at this point. But, yeah, I keep saying this, but the states truly are dabbling with authoritarianism. Chief Executive Panel congratulates State Protectorate. Research and architect activities of Society of Conscious Thought attacked by new Guri Malakan pirate grouping event. Gallente Federation declares concern over premature utilization of stellar transmuter technology by Caldari. This seems like kind of an empty-handed, like, furrow the brow, try to use it as a political attack. Lidai megacorporations given contract to supply maintenance ships and crews to state stellar transmuters. It might be worth paying attention, like going back and keeping track of like who all's doing what. Lidai was connected very closely with Conid when it comes to making the stellar transmute, or like experiment or looking at AO blue stars and Iridia and such. So we should probably keep an eye on what they're up to. Supply maintenance ships. The thing is that I wonder if this is taking things to the transmuter or taking things from the transmuter. Akimaka Saraki chairs CEP session, discusses next steps in exploitation of Triglavian technology by Megacorps. It doesn't end here. New protests break out on Intaki Prime as fears grow of future shipcaster and permanent federal military presence. So yeah, the Intaki Prime protests had been kind of quelled down. Again, I thought we had an election coming up last week. We'll have to see. But seeing a shipcaster come online with knowing that another one's ready to be built in Intaki, the relationship between the Intaki and the shipcaster is going to be really interesting when it comes to how this event is going to shape the story and how the story is going to shape the event. One of the things I find very interesting is that CCP has kind of not said and made it a point to not say whether or not this is something that everybody's going to get. It is very possible that whether or not you get the shipcaster or whether or not you get the shipcaster now may emerge naturally from the story, right? If we take too long to build the shipcaster and they kick us out of Intaki, and maybe we don't get to have a shipcaster until we can find a new headquarters. I don't know, but the point is that like the Intaki is very much in play, and we're having to keep a close eye on it. CDIA reports claims Guri Malakan coalition of Angel Cartel and Grissus pirates exploiting new mutual interests. Amar Empire remains silent on state shipcaster and stellar transmuter as Imperial Privy Council reviews situation. Again, it seems interesting. Like what is the Amar? What is the review of the situation going to lead to? Also, I think I go back to the fact that I think that the Guri Malakan was created in response to the Deathless Network. Although I believe Leopold was at their negotiation, so it's hard to say. State engineers claim stellar transmuters in Alonia operating within expected parameters. Angel Cartel dominations, leadership pursuing relative peaceful strategy in espionage and tech smuggling, says CDIA. Relatively peaceful, says the guy who last year seized control of an ore facility, an ore rock wall to steal the compression technology. Yeah, I guess this is relatively peaceful. CEP spokesperson dismisses Federation concerns as transparent. Oh well, I guess, yeah. Because remember, this union is against the SOCT, not against the shipcaster stuff, theoretically. CEP spokesperson dismisses Federation's concerns as transparent hypocrisy aimed at domestic Gallente elite. Yeah. Yeah, goons are joining faction warfare as well, I heard. We had to make Caldari a beast because we were once under oppression. Okay. Not even going to argue that right now. All right. Calichiota and Sukavesta awarded new mining and smelting concessions by Chief Executive Panel. That's the Mountain Coalition. Might be worth going back to see what they're up to. They're building a lot of infrastructure, if I remember correctly. 24th Imperial Crusade retake Oyonata system, isolating Tribal Liberation Force in Sosin Pocket. Society of Conscious Thought grateful for interventions of Capsuleers against ruthless Guri Malakan pirates. Shipcaster beacons in Ardoron repeatedly destroyed as Caldari commands attempt to direct more forces to Surthud. Yeah. That was the thing that happened. CBD and Space Lane Patrol pickup contract to run escorted supply and passenger flights between Anaman and Alonia. That's interesting, again, because, like, in theory, something has to be transported from Alonia to Animan with the transmuter to power. But Samatar Maltu Shakur expresses hope Caldari State continues safe approach to stellar transmuter technology. Small Triglavian recon groups detached in Alonia and Onamon with Caldari Navy ready for Triglavian interests. That's going to be worth watching. Hold on a second. Let's just warp a big long distance and see if we can find any trig. Leopold is still chilling in Inur, as far as my location told me this morning. Interesting. Well, I'm not seeing them yet. Contract has been assigned to me. Oh, thanks. Oh shoot, I forgot to keep descanning. But yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything. I can't find any Triglavians right now. When I joined EVE, I live in a war zone controlled by Gallente. It took years to acquire certain systems. Well, yeah. I mean, that's the thing that's really funny about people like, do you think that the Gallente could ever win? I'm like, well, they did win for a lot of years. Yeah, I want to believe that the Guri Malakan don't like the Deathless. Oh, Leopold's hanging out with the SOCT. Ooh, that's an angle. Especially when you consider that the SOCT are dropping Overseer's effects, which is super weird. It's kind of sad that the Capsuleer Day event doesn't have at least one chance. Look, man, an event site giving you a suspect flag was completely unheard of prior to the other event. So I guess adjust your expectations accordingly. But I disagree, because I think that there is a space for people to be able to use, like, I like running around with my command ship and just poning all the sites without having to really think about it. And by that I mean, like, I can just have fun shooting things without having to worry about like too much about being ganked or whatever. Or more importantly, all of the threats the suspect flag brings with it. So when I want to do dangerous stuff, I go to LowSec for the events. Hey, thanks for that, Tomaz P. So I think that I will say that so far I have found the loot in LowSec to be uninspiring, or the loot in the higher sites to be uninspiring. I also have heard that the sites for combat are kind of plain, but I've heard that there's some really interesting stuff in the data sites, and I've seen some interesting stuff. So I think that we should have where we go and like look at all that stuff and see what we can see, but that's probably not today. I love the fact that you can't cloak an SOCT data site. Wish that was true in the Guri Malakan one. I mean, that's fair. I like asymmetric gameplay though. For me, going suspect is a major negative. However, for this event, the outcome is the bling Tengu with a lot of fun power. Yeah, exactly. Like, there has to be a time to break out the good toys and go have fun. Yeah, the SOCT are super shady, which is interesting because they also have access to Concord. Just returned to EVE after about 10 years. So many improvements. Thanks for the ship fitting master video. That was a marathon of amazing help. I am glad that you liked my ship fitting guide. For those of you who don't know, I have made a 6-hour breakdown of how to fit your ships. That doesn't teach you anything about like this fit or that fit. We go through every single consideration, every module, high slots, mid slots, low slots, tank, weapon systems, rigs. It's all there. Get good. But in addition to that, we also have a video that's out. That's Royal. No, there's a video returning to EVE Watches First. Hopefully you've seen that already. But if you haven't, you should go check that out. It'll help get you caught back up and make it so you don't get killed thinking that your ship has warp core stability when it doesn't. The low-sec sites are not worth it for the time. Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing is that like low-sec sites are nice because it's usually I can be like, hey man, let's go grab like 3 or 4 people and just bang around in battle cruisers. But yeah, they have to be like, if they're only 80 million, then you're splitting that 3 ways. Like normally low-sec sites are like 300 million. Now the difference is that the implants that drop make it so that it's super spiky, right? Like you'll be like, you know, bare bones, I've gotten like, we got like a 3rd tier overseers effect in low sec. I got less than 1 million ISK out of a low sec site. And we've also gotten a 600 million ISK implant out of a site. So, you know, swings and roundabouts. They're actually much, honestly, low sec sites are usually 10 times the reward. Like, no joke. Because, like, the average site in high sec is usually somewhere between 10 to 30, and the average low sec site is between 100 to 300. Like, I'm not joking. It's usually about 10 times as much for low sec. But in this case, like, it's really hard for me to justify doing the low sec sites when I can just bang through high sec sites. We were running the low sec sites in 5 minutes. We ran 10 and made 2 billion to split 3 ways. Took an hour. Yes, and that's good. But for almost any other event, you would have made a lot more than that. That said, it's good to know that it is still viable. And if you go with normal battle cruisers instead of just command battle cruisers, you can actually run the Shadow War event site at the same time. You're already in low sec, so who cares about the suspect flag? And you can run any besieged covert research facilities that you find. Either way. Yeah, for solo, it's better to run in high sec, probably, unless what you want to do is fight people. Yeah. Yes, and good luck. The good news, heretical coffee says we should always be incentivizing dangerous space sites. The good news is that yeah, that's basically what they do. That's the goal. The event loot tables for this event are the same for all event sites. For example, SOCT Grandmasters are using the same drop tables as the hard site materials from the Guardian's Gala. I don't know, man, Satonia. I'm going to press X to doubt. I never got a 3. I never get a 3 third a 3rd tier overseers effect in low sec until this event. But okay. Yeah. Who put the 4th tier overseer effect in the Grandmaster loot table? It's not possible for a 3rd tier to drop? Okay. You're calling me out now. Hold on. Shoot, I can't even look it up. Ah, fine. You know what? So, no. I swear to God. Like, because this stood out to me because it was less... I thought it was less than 1 million, but it might have been less than 5 million. I know it was less than 10 million. I don't know, man. That... Yeah, 4 times 23rd tier is the best. That's ridiculous. No. I mean, this could be a combination of my memory being wrong. I was so shocked by it. Maybe the details have been flashbulbed out of my memory. The average is 100 million per site in ISK, and that can go as high as 520 if you get the best possible drop, or 2 million if you get the 1 times. Okay, maybe that's what it is. Maybe I just finally got the donkey. What is the money savings for the Plex Omega deals? I don't know. Do you think... I don't get Omega deals. My buddy code gets used so much that now if you use the link down below, it doesn't usually go to me. I usually say it doesn't go to me, but Astrothy is technically on that because my alt account is the one that's like got until 2031. But basically a bunch of people that help make the alliance work and help my show happen, and generally I want it to be nice to, are all on a list. So if you use the link for the referral code, then it sends you to one of theirs, which is pretty cool. We want to share the wealth. But yeah, the short of it is I don't need the Plex deals. So I could look them up, but so could you. Guri Malkin are 70 million average in Smuggler's Loot plus 10 million bounty on the boss, which is usually 20 million in low sec because of the bounty risk multiplier for around 90 million. Fair enough. It could also be, so like, there's a bit of a priming problem because the last event was tuned up. So when he's saying that all event sites, that's actually not true from my understanding. Like, unless they changed it this year. CSP Fozzie told me in the previous year that the winter event actually is tuned up in its rewards just a little bit, just to make everybody like extra happy for the winter or for the holidays. So if that was true, then we went from like a high to a normal, which feels like a low. I don't know. Maybe I should just try again. Yeah, Winter Nexus is the most generous event. Hey, Capri. What else do we have to talk about? Oh, the other day I noticed that we didn't even make it all the way through one of the readings I did. I need to... I did put out some videos this weekend. One of the New Eden News and my interview with the hauler guy that's running for CSM from Sithis. Beacon Boy Saves the Day. That's his name. It feels like there are more SOCT sites. That's just because you're looking for the other one, probably. The Winter Nexus sites also forces low-sec players next closer to each other. Also, what's interesting about this is that where normally it's like only the low-sec, theoretically speaking, you could yeet to null-sec. Excuse me, yeet to null-sec and do these sites there. What? He would have pushed for Niarsha to never have occurred. He lost my vote. Oh. Well, I mean, you know, he's entitled to his opinion. I understand that a lot of people were unhappy with Niarsha falling. Sorry, not sorry. Do we get a monthly economic report yet? Did I miss the last one? Maybe I did. No, we just did one not too long ago. right? Oh yeah, hold on. Here's something. Player-made in-game player-made in-game billboards return. Hold on. I have a God. We're supposed like I want to be snappier with my editing and like be able to drop memes and shit, but and stuff, but here you go. This is what I have to say about that.
I'm back!
What? What do you mean?
I'm back from holiday.
You were on holiday?
Yes, I was on holiday.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
You didn't know I was on holiday?
No, we did. Where did you go?
You didn't know I was on holiday.
Oh, we did. We missed you.
I've been gone a week.
A week?
Wow.
There you go. That's my attitude about this. All right. So we're proud to announce the official relaunch of player-submitted video advertisements in Eve. Yeah, if you've never watched IT Crowd, you absolutely have to. Who among us hasn't had their mouth water at the thought of enjoying some delicious matagu sushi, or dreamt about how much FOMO pictures from a vacation to the stunning beaches of the Jade Coast from Matar, booked with a travel agency Sinfina Mondo, would generate among friends on Galnet, blah, blah, blah. These ubiquitous displays appear in stations across New Eden as well as space. Yeah. Is there anything... You can read everything you need to know about submitting your own billboard videos in this article. That's going to be the more important part. First batch of player-created ads will be appearing in the in-game this June, coinciding with the release of EVE Online Viridian. Ah! Ew. Yay! Okay. It needs to be WebM format, 1020 by 576. Oh, sorry, 1024. Yeah, 30 frames per second. Has to be somewhere between 10 to 20 seconds long. Have a maximum file size of 6 gigabytes. No sound. And has no holographic scanlight effects because they already put that in. Hey, Chris. Thank you for that. Yeah, all is well. How's it going with you? So, and then obviously, you cannot show the UI. That's actually interesting because the actual UI that we see is non-diegetic. Use of game assets such as character portraits, alliance logos, or assets created by CCP is permitted. We discourage the use of clips from EVE trailers, as a repetitive use of the same footage may lead to a lack of distinctiveness in player advertisements. All non-EVE CCP assets used must be completely original. Use of copyrighted material, even when heavily modified, is not acceptable, except when copyright owner is owned by the submitter. So you don't even try to get permission. Don't try to edit it. Don't try to whatever. Like, it needs to be either from CCP or from you, or something you paid for. $10 to 30 second? No, 10 to 20 second ads. How do they determine who gets posted on the billboard? I think they just get thrown in the bucket if they qualify. I'm pretty sure the barrier to entry is making a qualified video that isn't like that is appropriate for it to be displayed in universe. That's the thing. It needs to be able to be displayed in an in-universe context. It can't break immersion. So, yeah. So not lottery. So the canon is that the UI is holographically displayed around your head. So the idea of like a flat screen with the UI on it is not the way it is. You can't instead of PvE. Use diegetic or in-universe lingo. So don't use like player lingo, like PvP, PvE players. Yeah, these billboards aren't being presented to the players of the world's greatest science fiction MMO. Nice. They're being shown to the citizens who inhabit New Eden. This is an in-universe context, so make sure you use language that is in-universe. As such, please find more creative ways of expressing. So, instead of PvP, and the reason why, so let's think about this. Well, you can make the argument of like, oh, well, you know, that kind of slang is just player slang. Like, that's the way we talk. But the problem with that is that the word stands for player. And so the idea of like there being a player is immersion breaking by itself. So I imagine the word rats would be more diegetic, more able to be accepted from the inside, because that could be a slang that's just picked up among the population, just like they call us eggers. Galnet is the official streaming. Yeah, I think so. Man, I can't remember. Rather than players, yeah, of other capsuleers. References to activities that make sense within the game world are okay. Industry, mining, exploration, because that's you'd be thinking about it that way too. Advertisements must not make references to real world concepts or specific language or countries. For example, United States time zone, German speaking corporation, Eve Italia. That said, the advertisement might be presented in any language you wish. Well, the point is that there's a lot of fighting going on. So, like, the whole thing is, like, fight against others for control over this territory. Like, talk more about what you're doing. The fighting in context of. Because everything's happening in context in Eve, you know? Even if it's form up and smash spaceships with other capsuleers, right? I mean, that's in universe. Unless capsuleers, I do like the idea that some capsuleers have just gone crazy and treated the game as a world, or sorry, the world as a game, and do begin to refer to themselves as players. Advertisements must not include URLs, Discord links, or references to other services that exist outside of the client. It's also just super tacky. Advertisements, which sucks because that means I can't advertise my YouTube channel, for example. I could advertise the show, but not where that show is. Advertisements may refer to people to in-game chat channels and entities, so you can say join an in-game channel, search for corporation name, send mail to character name. That's good. All times mentioned must be New Eden Standard Time, which is the time in the lower left. UTC. Days and months can be expressed in real-world terms, but if the year is required, it should be converted to YC. Like right now, it is YC125. If applicable, common standards for the dignified representation of race, sex, gender, sexual orientation, religion, or ability, as well as other marginalized groups, must be applied. Keep your racism out of the ads, or if you absolutely must, make sure it's a Marian racist. I don't know. No, that's a complicated whole conversation. But yeah, probably just best to avoid it completely in your thing. Although advertising yourself as like an Amarian slave-holding corporation, I guess just don't make a video that's like chastising the Mimitar. There you go. You could create a channel and then have an advertisement for the show and then have the MOTD for the channel. Yeah, that's actually a good point. There was a movie years ago where people would take humans to remote areas and then hunt them because humans are the most dangerous prey. Yeah. Wasn't that called The Most Dangerous Prey? I'm just looking at the Viridian poster with the dreads on it and curious why they would have an Astrahus in the background. Because structure customization is coming. The ability to apply like skins and effects onto your structure is coming with the expansion as well. That's why there's an Astrahus. If I want to call the Amars, join Dunheim today. Oh, that's dark. For those of you who don't know, Doomheim is the corporation that a character is sent to when that character is destroyed or biomassed. Yeah. Marian labor solutions when you need labor, make sure it's forced labor. Wow. Cadence and volumes, additional notes. Oh, here's some examples. Arataka Research Consortium's one. They're cool. That's a good one. And then, you know, Triumvirate. Now I gotta watch all three. I don't want to be accused that I skipped one. There you go. And the Frigate Free-For-All. This is, look, man, this is why I didn't think that it was gone. Like, March 11th wasn't that long ago. This was put up like 2 months ago. When did it stop? It's back. This says it's back. I literally do not know when the billboard submission stopped working. Oh, well, actually, not that one. This one says it's back. Amar Certified News would never censor you. Oh, man. What about that new, there's the news agency being created by Paragon. Let's see. Anything else we need to cover today? Do you like cannons? We need cannonballs. Do you like spaceships? That reminds me of the old AT ads. Those are great. The Wormhole Police are working on an ad. I imagine you are. Y'all a bunch of creative bastards. Yeah, I'm wondering, like, I'm really curious as to what's going to happen with Clear Skies 3 or 4. I hope stations get a lot more ad screen space. They look very empty right now. I think that they should get more aesthetics altogether. Maybe not, like, billboards is not the only solution to that problem. Yeah. I'm racking my brain to see if there's anything else I needed to talk about today. I actually think that that worked. So hopefully on Thursday, we can talk, or we can do some active event sites. So, just to show it off. We also do have a Gnosis that I've built for an alpha. If you are an alpha and you need a Gnosis, let me know. I'll share with you the fit and probably buy you one just to see if you can experiment with it and see how you do. I'm an old player that just returned to the game after many years of not playing so much new stuff. Yeah, I hear this a lot. Check out the Welcome Back to Eve video. Check out my other training videos. Christopher Wolf coming in as a supporter. Thank you so much, Christopher. Very cool. Very sure. I'm reasonably sure that's not your first time either. I wish it told me. But, yeah. You get all those emotes. The 07 emote. Exactly. And you get the Convocation of Empyreans logo, which you can also get on a mug. Links down below. I should not do that when there's still coffee in it. Also, I've been doing a lot of No Man's Sky. So, I don't know, man. I'm interested in doing some content for No Man's Sky, but we'll see. I just wanted to show support for you, so you can. Yeah, hey, man, I appreciate that. Retired military, I appreciate all you do. Hey, thank you, man. What did I say? Oh, never mind. That was somebody else. That's to somebody else. Oh, the one the wormhole pirates are doing. Nice. Oh, a mug, a shirt, and an apron. That's true. And of course, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it around for the good of the guinea pigs. And the cat, which said hi earlier. Let me think. Anybody want to remind me of anything? You guys have had lots of option. You've had lots of opportunity. Any PF? Oh no, I don't know what that means. Put schedule in channel info. Look, we're going to do this. You know what? Enough is enough. I'm going to be accountable to my member. 1 second. Customization? Basic info? No. Branding? No. Where do I put it? Just in the description? Just in the description, okay. All right, hold on. It's 1800. Yeah? Yeah. At 2000 New Eden time. Hey, Timothy. Right? Yes. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Thanks for the sub. It's so weird how the terminology goes back and forth, right? Like, I keep thinking like subs are like Twitch, but no, subs are like follows. I need both. So do the guineas. All right. So I have live most Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays at 2000 NET, New Eden Time. Is that going to work for you, Chubby? If you think doing some No Man's Sky content is good for you, you should do it. Well, like, okay. Let me be more direct. Yesterday, I went on a little bit of a journey. So I have a friend who shows up here some, who may end up watching this, named Timerian. And he and I have played we're playing No Man's Sky quite a bit. But one of his whole shticks is he likes apple fritters. So we always he tries to collect apple fritters in various games, like Eve or whatever, if there is an allegory. Well, turns out there is an item. Is there PvP in No Man's Sky? Theoretically, yeah. We sat there and shot at a dude for like 20 minutes. Yes, that is his channel, actually. Apple Fritters is his channel. Any rate, so I wanted to make... There's cooking in No Man's Sky. Cooking in No Man's Sky is very obtuse, complicated. There's like 400 plus recipes and doesn't really do much. It is one of the most complex and least rewarding processes I have ever experienced in EVE Online, in video gaming. The worst part about it is, so like if you want to turn it into nanites, which is the real thing you want especially towards endgame, like they're worth nanites. You can cook the fancy stuff for better nanites. You can cook it and sell it for money too, but there are better ways to make money. So being able to like grow and produce nanites, this is a big deal. Okay, I want to be able to farm and just grow stuff and then sell it for nanites. But here's the thing. When you go to turn it in, you go to the anomaly, which is like this central thing that you can summon from anywhere, so it's super convenient. You go in there, and there's a cook, or there's a dude that wants the food, right? And when you're supposed to give him the food, and he gives you nanites. I have described what the process is, or what the goals are. Now, the problem with this is that when you go up to him and talk to him, they offer you 3 items out of any of your inventories, besides like your personal inventory, your ship's inventory, or your freighter inventory. Any inventory you have access to, it'll pick 3 of them, and those are your 3 choices. And so I can have the nicest, coolest, awesomest item in the world, and then I can have some carbon, some eggs, and some milk. And it will offer me to give him the carbon, the milk, and the eggs. Like if there is a useless thing for it to fill the list up with, it'll do it. And remember, it's everything that you have access to. So if you notice that if you need to purge something out of an inventory because you didn't even realize it was edible, you have to leave the anomaly, go back to your freighter, go up to your place, dump more stuff out into your storage area, go back to the anomaly, and then see whether or not you can give him to him. And then, once you've done that, you turn them in one at a time. You can't sell an entire stack. So you're like, I need 50,000 nanites to upgrade my ship. I need it. I can make these awesome things, and they're worth somewhere between 80 to 150 nanites. That's awesome. I can just mass produce these and turn these in. But then you can only turn them in one at a time. And every single time it drops you out of the conversation, and then you have to go back into the conversation again, and then pick one again, and then drops you back out, and then back in. It could not be more painful. That said, I wanted to make my friend some apple fritters. So I decided to explore cooking. Oh no, I'm getting a phone call. What are you? Oh no, hold on. the best content. All right, well, hold on. Would that help make you feel better? Okay. Okay, hold on. Yeah, hold on. My son is having a bit of a grumpy time, so we want to cheer him up. So he wants to say hi to everybody. So say hi.
Hi.
What do you have to say to the audience?
That's what I did.
That's it?
What?
That's it? You should say like comment, and subscribe.
I'm pretty sure that this ain't a YouTube video.
Well, no, we're on YouTube.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay then. Well then, like, comment, and subscribe.
There you go. All right. Hold on, guys. All right. Sorry about that. I normally put on a video or something like that to distract, but I don't know. Tell Dad to send me ISK. No. Yeah. All right. So going back to what I was talking about, Chubby Man. If Chubby Man is still here, have I completed what you needed me to do? LM1 gifting 5 see? Gifting 5 memberships. Thank you so much to LM1 on behalf of Toxic Fanta, Lunik SpoonS, Pekamix, and Aikawarazu Chan, and Tori Torres. Oh man. LM1, how do you feel that you're funding the enemy by giving a membership to Torio? Chubby, I've added live most Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays at 2000 Nest. Is that, or Net? Is that what you wanted? Or is there something else I was supposed to do about it? LM1 is like awesome, by the way, guys. Like I wanna call it out again. Like, I feel very good about that. Well, fair enough. I feel that like LM1. Honestly, I'll say this. If it wasn't for LM1, I don't think I would have successfully made, or my transition to YouTube would not have necessarily been as successful as it was. Because like the transition from like YouTube or Twitch to YouTube, the biggest hit was the fact that Twitch Prime subs are free to the person. So you get a lot of those. And so I had to give up that. But LM1 has been pretty consistent about being very generous in supporting the stream and helping out with building up members, which I really, really appreciate. As a member, make sure you link up your YouTube account with the Discord, so that way you can get the roles to get into the supporters channel. I chat with the supporters there. I ask them for some guidance, like if I'm trying to think about what to do. And I basically, effectively, you get to join my editing staff. You know, you get to pay me to work for me. It's great. When I'm done editing a video, I usually throw it up to members only, and then share it with the people in the supporters channel, so that way I can get some other eyes on it to make any corrections or whatever that we need to, and assuming that it's still good and nobody tells me I'm dumb, I release it the next day. By the way, members, if you're watching those things and you've got feedback for me about the actual production or something I should do before it goes live, hit me up, because I really, really appreciate that. I wanted it to be on your YouTube homepage somewhere. So I think it's there. Well, it's in the description. It's in the YouTube description. You do have to you have to click on the description to see the full thing. If it's not good enough, I'll keep working on it. Primary like button, secondary subscribe button. Critical mass is necessary to so every lock counts. Awesome. Are you going to have any devs on to talk about the new expansion? I'm open to chat. We'll see. Honestly, a lot of those kinds of interviews happen very very spontaneously. Anywho, oh no, wait, hold on. Did Eve Miner just show up? Because we're wrapping up. All right. By the way, so for you new guys, make sure if you haven't already, use one of those codes to get 1 million free SP. You can use this code and it'll go to one of several different dudes, because we like to share the love around here. If you want to join us, maximize player engagement with EVE Online, or help defend the South for the good of the Federation and freedom, consider joining the Convocation of Empyreans. You can, or you can just hit up our Discord. You don't even need to join the convocation. Just as a public member, go in there and then go into the roles channel and give yourself the YouTube role, and then you get pinged every time I go live and put up videos and such. Yeah. But on that note, I've been Ash Rothy. I've been playing this game since 2010, talking about it since 2012, and I'm here to put even context for you, my fellow Empyreans. Thank you guys so much for being here and hanging out. Thank you for checking out my videos, all of them. Thank you for being positive, and thank you for helping me learn the game, just as we help the whole world. We help raise up EVE literacy. And of course, an extra special thanks to my supporters, AR, or sorry, that's the long list. Abyssus, Aikawarazu Chan, Arkas Ilring, Arydanika the Queen, Belligerent Neckbeard, Black Rose Noble, Dajat Lemmont, Drake, Golden Age Stories, J. Kuhn, Lumi, Malak Starfire, Midnight Space Monkey, Not Just Fun, Seeds of Plenty, Serenely with No Eyes, Syliana Vel'ash, Tgen Tgen, Nephilim, Grendel, Yantey Lepouf, and Zaul Nex, as well as my immortal tier patrons 745 MPSI, Ebo Leet, May, Merc Utan, Nihilum, LM1, and Rid. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to do the liking thing and all that stuff. And until next time, I have been Ash Rothy, the voice of New Eden, and I'll see you in space.
every city.